Remind me never to move to China, you hear?
China is becoming a pervert's paradise.
我差点以为我进了什么不干净的小网站呢。这个 APP 甚至还有一个专门偷拍标签，你瞅瞅，随意盗用他人照片，杜撰伪随的故事，内容充满意义。
我明明都看到他偷拍了，
在这儿，全都是这种高清大图，
有非常多女生的照片，点进他们的照片，甚至连每天搭乘的路线都一清二。
Today we're going to watch a video. This is a channel called Leo Y86, I think. Leo Y86. If I said that name wrong, I'm gonna put it in the put the real name up there. There's this guy from China. He's not from China. He live in China, and he's giving us the update about what's going on in this world. And I'm just appalled. I'm not surprised, but I'm appalled. So let's take a look at this video.
There are apps running rampant across China that allow people to sneakily take photos and videos and hide them.
我明明都看到他偷拍了，但他的相册里面就是没有。
And then upload them to a marketplace where people are rewarded points and money and clout for sharing them. But it gets so much worse.
People have nothing to do with their time other than to create these types of apps. I'll tell you a story now. I remember a time I was on a train in DC, and there was a man sitting across from where I was sitting. He was sitting in the chairs that face the side of the train, and I'm sitting in a chair that faces forward. And there was a young lady in front of him with her legs crossed. It was summertime, so she had on a dress, and some of her thigh meat was showing. And I happened to see that he had the camera app open on his phone. He have some shame to himself. He kind of felt that I was watching, so he took the app, like he took it away. He took it away. And for the rest of that train ride, although I didn't say anything because he's a guy and he was bigger than me, and there was not many of us on the train, but because he's a guy, he's bigger than me, I just didn't say anything, and I didn't say anything to her. But for the rest of that train ride, he knew that my eyes was on him. Every so often I'd make sure I look at him, and he kept like looking at me too. Because this is it that serious? I mean, yeah, it is that serious. That's sick. The mindset is just different, I guess. It's just what it is. And the reality in China is very clear. Now, what I'm concerned about and why I'm bringing this video to you is because I wouldn't be surprised if this same type of technology is also here, and we as women maybe don't know it. We don't know that that's what's being used upon us. Watch some more. Let's let them tell us what this app does, because it's amazing. The technology, the way that they use their brain to create such interesting things. I wish it could be done for the betterment of humanity, but what can I say?
Because after these photos are uploaded to this community marketplace, this place where people are trading them, then people start to map out these women's routes. So what they'll do is post a woman, and they'll say she usually takes this bus and goes here every day for work. They'll post her location, they won't blur her out, and they will constantly follow and update them. But there's not just one app though. There's an entire industry of them, and they're taking over.
That's madness. That's madness that you would even upload these videos and share her routes. You can't even feel safe going places wherever you want to go without knowing that you could be followed, stalked. These people who have no idea who you are, and they feel like it's okay to stalk you. What kind of madness is this? I'm telling you, the mind of these people that think that this is okay. And it's apparently a lot of people because they have a whole network. You know, it'll take time. There's so many people who create apps and try to provide services for, or services and different amenities for people with different types of apps that can help do a lot of great things. But the fact that these types of apps are making it, because a lot of those apps don't make it, enough people don't subscribe to them or join them, so there's not a lot of the community that joins it. But these type of apps making it.
Some look like a news app. Some look like games. Some look like a weather app. Let's say, hypothetically, a woman is on the subway doing her thing, and then somebody takes a slew of photos from compromising angles or perhaps under their clothing. The natural thing, if this woman caught the person, would be to confront them, right? If she noticed. But with these apps, the camera doesn't even show up on screen. It looks like a game or whatever, weather app or whatever one that people choose to download. The photos, after the person takes them, don't go to the Photos app. They don't go to that place where you can scroll through your photos. They just don't show up there. So think about this. The woman that's just been accosted by this person and had some compromising photos taken of her, when she confronts that person and says, go delete those, they're not there. Those photos go to a hidden folder, which masks the photos with fake ones that cover them. So if somebody's flipping through the thumbnails on their app, it's just a bunch of pictures of dogs or the sky or some documents or whatever.
I mean, the fact that they have to go through such extreme hiding capabilities to be able to do such degeneracy, this is ridiculous. Remind me never to go to China and to watch out even in this America, because this is preposterous.
Also, you can't even access the photos that were taken without a password. The worst part is that people are being incentivized to do this, to go out there on buses, to go out there on the street, to go out there in your changing rooms, to go to places like the subway and take photos and videos of women in these compromising positions and try to get away with it. They're incentivized by doing this because there's premium versions of these apps that act like social media platforms. Again, where people are trading them, they're selling them, they're earning money from selling photos and videos of these women that they sneakily capture. And these apps are getting out of control because they're rewarding people for more and more risque or more and more compromising content. They're trying to play into this idea that any single man out there that has trouble finding a girl, the only reason that he's having trouble finding a girl, because they're strangers. If they break down these barriers and he follows her every day to work or wherever she's going and knows what she does and what she likes and all of this information that people, this community, are sharing together in this team effort of stalking, then the guy will be able to break the ice a lot more easily, and then the girl will potentially like him and feel more comfortable with him. That's how they're portraying this. They're trying to say, are you a divorced man? Well, let us help you find girls on your route to work.
Could you imagine, first of all, if you find, okay, maybe, one of the guys, he is able to meet you through this horrible way, and you don't know at first, but then you find out that that's how he met you. How would you feel? Oh, that's so creepy. I would feel disgusted. That's really disgusting. Like, to know that this person has been utilizing this type of technology to stalk you and find out where you live, where you work. You just met him and he already know you there, where you live. Oh, that's just... I'm so creeped out by that. That crawled my blood.
Wherever you are, use this community to get closer to these women, and therefore you will have an easier time picking them up. It really is getting out of hand. And there's no punishment. That's why this happens. This has become such a big problem in China because no one can do anything about it. It's a one-party authoritarian state. The people are powerless. And it's kind of ironic because it's the People's Republic of China.
And I think that's pretty clear. The people are not the women, because it is the People's Republic of China, and the people are the men that run the country, that support male run ideologies, male centered ideologies that allow them to degrade and degrade women in public.
Japan has had a huge problem with this sort of thing, but they do things about it. They create women's only cars on the subway. They actually mandate that your phone makes an audible sound when it takes photos and videos. But China makes a marketplace for it and then does nothing about it. But here's the deal. You have these brave women that go online to share videos about how to get these apps downvoted on the App Store and therefore hidden from public view. If they go below a certain threshold, they're not able to be downloaded anymore. But I have a question, and this is a serious question.
Now, what's interesting, when I think about it, I wouldn't even think to look for an app like that. So unless like these women are doing, they're making it very clear that these are the types of apps that are in the public. It's like literally they have to do this because now they have been, I'm sure there's a lot of women that's not even on their radar that men would think to, maybe they are because of where they are. But I know for me, it wouldn't be on my radar to think that men would be looking for apps to take pictures of me and post it online and stalk me using these types of apps, or stalk a woman using these types of apps. So it wouldn't be something that I would think to look for. So these women are making it clear and building awareness for other women to downvote these apps because, I'm sure these apps are being upvoted by men who are the perpetrators, who use these apps for their own deviancy. It's mind-boggling that they really just have no time, have so much time to come up with these types of things. I really am grateful that I don't have that type of a degenerate mind, but I really feel bad for the species that does. Like that, this is the type of things that give them excitement. This is the type of thing that gets them going. That's I don't have a word for it.
And it's a very, very ridiculous question that I have to ask this. If the Chinese government, the second most authoritarian government in the entire world, only second to North Korea at this point, has the ability to block the outside internet, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, all that stuff, right? They block it completely for their own citizens. It's illegal for them to go on those websites. If the Chinese government has the ability to hunt down every single person within their borders with 700 million government-run security cameras, yes, you heard that right, 700 million. They have the social credit system. They can round up over 1 million ethnic minorities in re-education camps in Western China by using big data and other Orwellian methods. Then I have to ask this. This is the big question. How can they not shut these apps down the moment they come out?
I think it's pretty simple to guess. And before he says the answer, because it's the People's Republic, and the people are the males, the men, that also feel that there's nothing wrong with this. There's no harm to them. They don't see that as harm. Women are commodities. Women are not given the same protections. Women are not given the same rights as men, because he just named off a whole slew of things that happen in China. For example, I know for a fact that people are not able to use the social medias that we have here in the US, and everything is blocked. They can track you down if you are, utilizing some other services to get access out in their country to the outside world. And there are other, there's so many means. They have a ton of cameras, yeah, like he's mentioning. And these apps are not being stopped.
When hashtags in China come out, when something they don't like comes out and it gets spread around social media, they shut it down like that. So why are these apps still going on? Why are these apps still proliferating? Why do women have to make hundreds of these videos asking for people to help get these apps downvoted? Shouldn't the iron-fisted government that supposedly keeps society so safe that people are not supposed to worry about this kind of stuff, shouldn't they take care of this? Shouldn't they act like the people's?
Yeah, they're acting like that because they're keeping males safe. They're not allowing for the men to be in trouble. They're keeping the men safe. They're protecting men. They're giving them the okay to abuse women. They're giving them the okay to satisfy their desires. But what I'm thinking right now, why would they do that? Why would they do that? You see, this government knows that if the men aren't satisfied to some extent, if they're having a hard time, because China has a lot more males than they do females. They have a lot more because of the one-child policy that has been going on for so long for them, and the preference of having boys versus girls when having children. They have a huge population disparity where there's a lot more guys than girls, than women. And if they don't keep them somewhat subdued to some extent, they can have an uprising on their hands. Their goal is not to stir up too much trouble for the males, because they're the ones that would become rowdy, become violent, could have thoughts of things that would not be beneficial to their government. So in some ways, it almost is as though these women are being sacrificed for the continuance of their government and the way of life in China. Allegedly.
Republic of China? How, for years, do home security cameras in China become compromised, and then entire ecosystems and industries around spying on people in their homes become a thing? Because yeah, that happened too. For years and years, people were being spied on via their home cameras, and the government barely did anything about it. Why and how is that allowed to happen? Well, I can answer that question. It's because they don't care. They really don't care
about women. They care. They care that the men don't overthrow or become too disgruntled in their society and cause too much problems. They care about that because they have a lot of men in their community. They care. Just not about women. Not about the girls, not about the young ladies, the young girls that are a part of their community. They care.
I will spare you and her the details, but my wife was abused on public transportation and no one helped when she called out. Guess what? The police did nothing either. There was a serious attempt by a Chinese government official that I've talked about in previous videos to take advantage of her, and she narrowly avoided the situation, and no one did anything about it. No one was held accountable.
These are supposed to be the people that say they're supposed to protect women from who? Who are they protecting?
Countless women in China are victims of abuse at their factories, their offices, by their bosses. Women are increasingly arrested for speaking out in China. Not just for equality issues, for anything. any sort of push for equal rights has been quashed. This isn't even to the level that I'm talking about in the West, all right? I'm not talking about your high-level progressive politics, your right versus left stuff. I'm talking like base-level women's rights, the kind that there's no debate for. That's the kind that China is trying to stifle. I mean, look at the central government. You need more proof? Look at these two pictures. Here's the central government in China, here's the central government in the US. How many women do you see in each photo? How many? Count. In China, when you don't have checks and balances and you have one ruling power with a closed group of people who are not voted into power, what do you think is gonna happen? I'm tired of Chinese propaganda making it look like China is some sort of safe utopia for women. While people bicker about things like women's rights in the West, they trample their own women and they tell everyone that China is a paradise for women's equality. Moreover, let's learn here from this experience, from these apps, that the Chinese government absolutely does not take privacy or security seriously at all. I mean, this is the country that's watching every one of their citizens with eagle eyes to make sure that they do not cross the party lines. But hey, if you want to start an entire ecosystem, a marketplace, by taking compromising photos of people on public transportation, then selling them to other people and trading them with other people, apparently that's completely fine, especially when women are the victims.
I am appalled, not surprised, as I mentioned in the beginning, but appalled that it's 2024 and women still have to fight to be safe in societies all over the world. This is not just China. And again, I'm mentioning this because we might have to take a look at our app stores and see if this is not going on in the US too and other places. Most of the things we buy are from China. It's from China. A lot of things we consume come from China. So if they were able to create an app, look at TikTok. If they were able to create an app that gives people the ability to do all of this, I wouldn't be surprised if it is already hit the mails in this country. And as a woman, I wouldn't think to go look for it. So, ladies, just keep your head up and be mindful about the things going on around you. Anyways, what do you think about this? Ladies, what do you think about this type of app? What do you think about this video? Leave your comments in the comment section below. Please share your thoughts. I like to read your comments. So go ahead and share your thoughts on this and this is just, my stomach is turning for something like this. So subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed. I'm Crucian Mahogany, and I will see you in the next video. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy.